I've decided to make you a video for understanding the area of a triangle formula. So maybe you had a teacher that told you that the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height. And they just said, and here, use that formula. I don't like to teach that way. I like to make sure that everybody knows where the formula came from and why it is the way that it is. So, area of a rectangle is really where it comes from. So, you might have heard area of a rectangle, right, is your base and your height. Oh, not B. Delete. Base. Come here, pen. Base and then height. And when you multiply those two together, it represents all of the space inside of the rectangle. And even if the rectangle was up and down like this, it would still be called the base and the height. Or maybe your teacher called it the length and the width when you talked about rectangles. So instead of B and H, you used L and W. Those are just names, but when you multiply those two sides together, you still represent all of the inside of that rectangle. Now, if I took a rectangle, and, oh, it's an ugly one. Let's do this one. There we go. So if I took a rectangle and I put a diagonal through it, like so, what I now have are two triangles. See one here and one up here? So I have two triangles now, and these two triangles together make a whole rectangle. Or you could think of as a triangle as being half of a rectangle, and that's where that half comes from. So simplifying the formula a little bit, right? We have a fraction here, and to multiply fractions, it's nice if we turn everything into a fraction. So the base will become b over 1 because you already know to turn every whole number into a fraction, you put it over 1. And then we have h over 1. And now to multiply fractions, you multiply numerator times numerators and denominators times denominator. So 1 times b times h is b times h. And 2 times 1 is just 2. So you can memorize the triangle formula, or area of a triangle formula as being this, 1/2 times base times height, or you could remember it as base times height, and then divided by 2.